Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom is back and welcome back to another episode of Sound Drives. As you know, another special tag, another special pack, and probably another rant. Well, here's the thing, it's another carbon fiber, which is, a long story short, it's a little bit lackluster, isn't it? But welcome back to another episode of What Can You Get From That Pack? Of course, the series where I review the pack that you need to open for the prize cards coming up. Now, the prize cards in this challenge, they look pretty good. You know, it hits close to home. I mean, it is a more American-centered, special tag theme, and more American-centered cars. You get yourself an RQ65 Challenger Drag Race package, and I'm kind of interested to see how well this thing performs. What is the MRA on this? You know, the 0 to 60 is great. Top speed isn't there, but at least if this car has the MRA, it might be a fantastic car all the way up to a half mile. Last one being the Chevrolet Beast. Again, for me, it hits close to home. This is probably one of the worst four-wheel drive off-road cars that you can get. That is, you know, categorized as a legendary. It probably is the worst four-wheel drive off-road tire car you can get. That is categorized as a legendary. 74 handling, fully upgraded. That's some 82. Is that 82? Something like that. So it's not going to be high. And it's probably going to lose to things like the MG Metro of all things, which is an epic and a lot easier to fully upgrade. But hey, you know, at least it's got a high ground clearance, so maybe you can use it for motocross. Again, you might want to use the Dakar because the Dakar is high ground clearance, isn't it? But anyway, let's get into Desperados. We got the tier list coming up, and as always, here are our ranks. Highly versatile. Versatile requires some criteria. Severely overrated, and bro, they made it the only option. Actually, I want to go back to the prize card bit, just one more thing, okay? I think it's kind of funny. I mean, for me, like I said, I'm okay because like this is going to be our first American Overdrive prize card. So I'm excited for it personally because this is what I like to collect. But imagine just being a non-American Overdrive player, like collector player, who's playing Top Drives. Let's say that your favorite update was like, you know, Great Exhibition or ENW or something like that, right? It's a sudden realization that I'm having right on the spot as I'm recording right now. We went from an RQ91, right, prize car in that Skoda from the last special tag challenge to an RQ83 prize car in the special tag challenge. So this is a lot less incentive, really, to go hard for this challenge. But anyway, let's review the pack. Every car that you can get. Again, the Epics is really where it gets absolutely terrible. We're going to start with the GMC Canyon SLT. Bro, they made it the only option. I'm sorry, but all surface tires, four-wheel drive, you know, it's the weakest off its rarity. It doesn't have any specialist traits. Definitely going to be useless. I mean, I've had this car in my garage for a couple of days. I mean, a couple of weeks. I think it's a couple of weeks. I might have even fused it away. But I'm just waiting for it to go down to Super, and then maybe we can think about fully upgrading that car. The Bronco concept, though, is highly versatile. This thing has been fantastic since it was like RQ53. Since when it came into the game. I think it was during American Frontier when the Bronco was introduced into the game. It's been fantastic. It's really light four-wheel drive off-road tires, and it is an absolute beast on slalom and G-force. Especially slalom and especially in the snow. It will be one of your greatest off-road bargains for sure by a country mile. This thing beats four-wheel drive off-roaders that are high ground clearance and are 10 RQ higher. I mean, great examples is that it'll beat things like the backcountry on a slalom snow, or even the Silverado, because all those cars are just ridiculously heavy. Next up is a Cadillac CTS Sport Wagon, and I'm gonna say, bro, they made it the only option as well. I do own that car. I have it fully upgraded, and I think at one point it might have even been like a super rare or something like that. It has received nothing besides photo changes. Outside of that, it's been a completely useless car. I never use it. Even when it's like Cadillac 5 times in clubs, I never use the CTS Sport Wagon because the ELR is a standard tire car. And although the ELR is not standard anymore because the Cadillac ELR was switched to performance tires in American Overdrive, you would think, oh, you know, that opens a new window for cars like the CTS Sport Wagon to become useful. But then you kind of realize, oh, wait a minute, they added more standard tire Cadillacs in American Overdrive. Those are going to be the ones that replace the ELR. Things like the Cadillac Era, which isn't even standard tires, it's four-wheel drive performance, or the other one, the Inner Space, right? So CTS, yeah, it's never gonna get it today. Ford Mustang GT is severely overrated. I love the car back in the day. 4.287 with medium ground clearance was a fantastic city street small car back like 4 years ago in Top Drives, 3 years ago. But now, you know, every rarity is super saturated, right? Like the competition pool for almost anything performance tires is going to be incredibly high. right? I mean, the competition is going to be incredibly high. And unfortunately, the Ford Mustang GT, it was great 4 years ago, but it doesn't bring that value anymore in, today's era, I guess. I did do a quick comparison of the Ford Mustang GT among like other RQ53s and 54s in top drives that are also rear-wheel drive medium ground clearance. And yeah, it loses to a lot of the newer cars, a lot of the newer BMWs actually that came in Enter the Black Forest. So Mustang GT, used to be good, but now, even though it's got a ridiculously low 0 to 60, it doesn't have the MRA to back it up. Moving on to the Audi S4 Cabriolet, they made it the only option. The A4 Saloon, though, I would say requires some criteria. You can't really go wrong with about 84 handling, four-wheel drive, and center tires. 84 handling is if you fully upgraded. Also, I believe it is a saloon. I mean, it says it in the name, right? Medium ground clearance, 5-seater. So it's one of the more popular rarities, more of the popular niches in top drives. And whether you like it or not, the way that I judge whether a niche is more popular or not is if that niche is included in clubs or not. You might disagree, you might agree, but in my opinion, I will always value a Big Five country car way more than any car from outside the Big Five. What I mean is like France, Germany, the United States, the UK, and Japan, because those are the ones that you will always see time and time again in clubs. They will always come back. They will always make you money. You'll never see Sweden times 5. You'll never see South Korea times 5. So what the thing is, right? When those tags are not included in clubs, then the only time you can use those cars is if there is an event for it and Hutch wants to make an event for it, which is usually once every month, that you probably can use like a South Korean car nowadays after APGP. So yeah, I would say that the Audi, because it's saloon, it has a little bit more credibility to its name, because saloon, also 5-seaters, both of which are really common club requirements. I can't say the same for 4-seaters, and I cannot say the same for 7-seaters and above, right? Now moving on is the Ford Ranger. That's going to be, bro, they made it the only option as well. This was a car that I believe came, I want to say World Expo. It might even be American Frontier. Either way, or it might even be, no, I don't think it was lock to lock, but either way, yeah, I have it fully upgraded. It's a good looking car in my opinion, but I never use it. Subaru Legacy, it's the same situation, man. I got it during a JPT. I might have used it in some really early challenges surrounding JPT cars. But yeah, only when they make it the only option do I actually use the Subaru Legacy a lot. The Bronco Heritage Edition is highly versatile as well. Going up there with the Bronco concept, both of those cars are fantastic. Then we have the Volvo V90 Cross Country, and these two kind of basically excel at the same areas. Snow. Volvo V90 Cross Country D5 all-wheel drive. Bro, they made it the only option as well. Back in the day, I used to give a little bit more leniency in rating to estates and wagons, and that was because 2 years ago or 3 years ago there weren't many wagons in the game, so getting a wagon kind of meant that you were already getting a pretty influential car within that niche. But now with every single coming update and every single update that we've had since the last 2 or 3 years, more and more wagons come into the game, and unfortunately wagons are not part of that club requirement niche, so you can only use them during multiplayer events, or maybe if Hutch makes you use it in some kind of tri-series where you can use estates or something like that. Usually nowadays they won't even do just estates or just coupes. They'll probably do estate, van, MPV. They'll add a bunch of things together, right? So I'm not gonna have that leniency towards estates anymore. If you're not good as an estate, you're just going on the bottom tier. And moving on to the Volvo Cross Country T5 all-wheel drive. Now this one, honestly, these two Volvos were actually relatively useful for me, and I can't remember what it was. Was it some kind of challenge recently? But outside of that, they've kind of been useless. I mean, they've arrived since ENW. I believe that the Volvo V60, this one right here, was one of the first Ultras I ever got from the update, and I just never used it. Now with the Chevrolet Silverado, this one's gonna requires some criteria, mainly American overdrive, Chevrolet, American. Then it'll be relatively useful. It does lose to the backcountry as well as the white, I believe it's the Chevrolet ZR1 pickup truck, as well as the GMC Sierra. But then again, it's the second best when it comes to Chevrolet off-road Ultras, I guess. So it requires some criteria. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible as well. Still in the upper echelon of four-wheel drive, off-road pickups, in my opinion. Now, moving on to the Minis. The Minis are severely overrated. I don't think they're bad. They handle well, And I have used them from time to time since, unpacking them. Well, I say them, but I'm packing one of them. I think I only have the Countryman Cooper SD All 4. I don't think I have the PHEV. But I do get some use out of it in all-surface tire events, as rare as they might come. They are decent all-surface tire cars. I'll say severely overrated. I don't think they're the lowest rank, but they're definitely not good. Backcountry is versatile. That's a good one. I wouldn't say it's the best. But it is a very strong car nonetheless. I just don't think the reason why the Broncos are up there is because they're such bargains. You know what I mean? And they are so influential on slalom snow, on G-force snow. The backcountry, you expect the backcountry to perform well, and it does. But I wouldn't really expect the RQ50 Bronco concept per se to perform as well as it does. But it exceeds expectations. So I'm going to put that in highly versatile. Backcountry in versatile. Still good though. Moving on is the Volvo V40 T5 Cross Country. This thing, I think I have it stock, right, in my collection. I don't know if I fully upgraded it already or not. Considering with the racing objective stuff, I'm like upgrading things like crazy. Again, it's not that good. Honestly, I'll put it here alongside the minis. I think that they're slightly worse than the minis even because it handles less than the Countryman Cooper, for example. But it's more expensive to use. But it is, I believe, relatively light if I remember correctly. We can go back into the game and double check. Go into My Cars, and then we go into Volvo, and then we go into Ultra Rare. Don't have that many epics, so we can go straight here directly. Did I fuse it away? I might have fused it away by mistake, because I think I had one of these, right? I can't remember anymore. It is relatively light, yeah, 1,569 kilograms, almost like calories. Moving on, Subaru, Legacy, again, never use it. Okay, moving on to the epics, a lot of crap here, okay? So, the Volvo S60, I think was useful in like one tri-series recently, outside of that, useless. And I think it was that tri-series where I also ended up using this Volvo estate a lot. But anyway, outside of that, when they don't make it the only option, and obviously they did. This is the definition of, bro, they only made it the only option, because I think it was like the best all-surface tire car in the niche. You need to use an all-surface tire car for the track sets in the final or something like that. Can't remember, but yeah, they literally made it the only option. Mini is gonna go join it there. The Porsche is gonna join it there. The Maverick Tremor, I'm gonna put it in severely overrated. It handles pretty well. Right, it handles, I think, about the same as the Chevrolet Beast, if I remember correctly, which is sad, right? They're both 73, 74. So the Beast is one more handling than the Tremor. Four-wheel drive, off-road tires, yes. The thing about the Maverick Tremor is, I think the reason to why I'm such a savage with racing these cars now. I remember when the Tremor first came out, Tremor first came out in American Frontier, I believe. No, Pacific Coast Highway, that's right. I thought it was going to be pretty decent because it was like I thought it was going to be a bargain. I thought it was going to be like the Bronco concept, for example. It's a really cheap car within its RQ, but it handles well. It's four-wheel drive off-road. The problem is, it's just too expensive to upgrade. Way too expensive to upgrade. And the Maverick Tremor, I actually had it stocked in my garage for an entire year. I don't think I have it. Yeah, I finally let it go. So I had it in my garage for, and it's pretty light too. I had it in my garage for an entire year. When I got it at the start of Pacific Coast Highway, at the heights of Pacific Coast Highway, and I've never needed it in an entire year. Even though I thought it had potential, there was always a better option. I would always just use, because they released the Bronco R, right? They released the Bronco R as a prize car. I would always use this everywhere anyway. So yeah, unfortunately, that car cut. It looks decent for its RQ, but the problem is the game design. Too expensive to upgrade for a 65. Way too expensive. And it's the same thing for the Ford Mustang Mach 1. I'm going to put that in severely overrated as well. It's not bad, but it's just like, it's too expensive to upgrade for a 66. It just is. I'm sorry. It's not that bad. It really isn't that bad. But like, they're just better options to use. Would you actually max out a Mach 1 if you have like a Corvette, for example, C8, for example, right? So you wouldn't. Yeah, Jerry goes down. This piece of shit goes down. These BMWs are four-wheel drive and standard. I'm gonna put them and require some criteria, but no way higher than that. I will commend them for being four-wheel drive standard, medium, five-seater saloon, all that. But they're better options. But they handle pretty well. At least this one with the performance tires. Actually, this is the standard. This one isn't even standard. My bad. I'm gonna move this one down one that's severely overrated. Whew. And luckily I had a look. The Audi A5 Cabriolet. Yeah, they made it an option. CT5V Sport Wagon only option. Especially now with American Frontier, not American Frontier, American Overdrive, when they just added even more standard. I'm not standard, but more wagon Cadillacs. The old guard is never gonna have a time to shine anymore. Like, Hutch always prioritizes the new update, at least 9 times out of 10. BMW X-Drive Saloon, yeah, I'm gonna put it here together. This one's standard. I'll put it in requires some criteria. I still don't think it's the best of the best. But what is the best of the best Cyclone though? Cyclone is definitely highly versatile. I think one thing that it really stands out across its competition is it handles better than most of the four-wheel drive standard epics for 78. But also I believe it's high ground clearance, right? So because of that, it actually has that extra niche, that extra speciality. Yes, it does, high ground clearance. So very, 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 very impressive on that car, honestly. It's one of those OG cars. It's an OG car, the Cyclone, since the beginning of Top Drives, I believe. You know, American Dream. Okay, so pretty close. 2018 American Dream, 2019, I think it was 2018 October, I believe. Since then, it's been so useful. I still use it like twice a month in dailies that requires standard tires. So fantastic car. Okay, legendaries. We started with the SRT10 ACR. I'm gonna say versatile. It's a good RQ80. But then again, if I'm ranking the Tremor and the Mach 1, you know, saying that they're good cars, but they'll never be upgraded because who would ever upgrade a low rarity within a legend? Then if I apply the same logic to the SRT10 ACR, then I should bump it down one. See? I'm unbiased because I freaking love that car. But I'll put it in requires some criteria. Flying Spur is severely overrated. I used to like the car because it used to be you know, it's one of the only legends that were saloon and medium ground clearance. But now we have the Cadillac, right? With the Cadillac CT6V, which handles better, and it is better in many situations where you need it, like in the city streets. So, moving on is the Chevrolet Corvette Indy. I'm gonna say requires some criteria. The BMW 330D X-Drive Saloon, I'm gonna say, is highly versatile. I know that the Mitsubishis are better, but I'm still going to put that in highly versatile. I have it fully upgraded, no regrets. The RS3 Saloon, ugh, severely overrated. I know it's medium ground clearance, but then again, you got to fully upgrade it to get it some use, right? BMW 545e, I'm going to put that in requires some criteria. BMW M Competition X-Drive, I'm going to put that in versatile. And then the 911, I'm going to put in highly versatile, mainly because from personal experience, that is one of my most frequently used four-wheel drive legendaries, I'm pretty sure. Reset that filter. Let's go into I think it's the fact that it's like a roadster or what is it? It's yeah, the fact that it's a cabriolet, right? The fact that it's a cabriolet, there are not a lot of them out for use. Yeah, it's a great one. What is mine? Oh, I need to go into my cars. Let's have a look. Yep, 1,079 races, 672 days, 92% win ratio. It's a weird one. I don't know. There's not much for me to say about this car, mainly over the fact that I'm rating it highly because based off personal experience, I use it all the time. And that's maybe due to the fact that I have the handling fully upgraded, so I tend to use it a little bit more. In the grand scheme of things, probably versatile. It's got a low 0 to 60, handles okay, but no MRA at all. It's decent. I would say it's decent. But overall, this is going to be my ranking of Desperados. Just another pack of mediocrity. I will open one just for, I guess, the spirit of the video. So let's go into new cars and let's look for that, that offer right there. We get 20K and 10 slots. So it's not all a waste, right? At least we get a little bit of cash and a little bit of slots as well. Let's go, Colts. The good thing about this pack though is that every single car is going to be from the update. Ooh, at least double ultra. I'll take it. Hey, that was worth it. That was worth it. All right. I mean, you know, Koenigsegg Yamira final it was like a month ago, but I'll take it, man. That was a good pack. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for today. Let me know. I don't want you guys to think that this was a good pack, by the way. Okay, I got 2 ultra rares, and it just so happened that one was highly versatile, one was versatile, and there were only 3 ultra rares that were able to hit those heights. So I think that was actually a really lucky pack, if you ask me. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for today. I hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too. Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all